Hey guys, TGKS Productions. So in today's video I'm going to go over the latest legendary bounty added to Reddit Online today, November 4th. This is the Etta Doyle one. We got a legendary bounty on a Monday today. It's typically not the case, probably because Red Dead is being released on PC tomorrow, so Rockstar's probably changing up their dates for the tunables for Red Dead. I don't know if that's going to affect GTA, probably won't, who knows. First off, we're going to read the bounty poster, let you guys check out the cutscene, and I'm going to go about the method, or explain the method used, sort of how I went about completing this legendary bounty. So here we go. Wanted. A sizable reward is being offered for the capture of Madame La Pearl, aka Etta Doyle, and her gang. Wanted alive for train and coach robbery, is the leader of a gang of women known for terrorizing trains and coaches. She's 40 years of age and dresses in men's clothing, seen in the proximity of Saint-Denis, identified by a scar on her right cheek obtained during a knife fight, considered extremely dangerous. So go ahead and check out this cutscene, and then I'll go through the method I took completing this legendary bounty.
All right. Etta Doyle. Used to be known as Madame La Pearl. She runs a gang of other fallen women, sticking up trains and coaches mostly, but seems to have a particular fancy for robbing Leviticus Cornwall of late. So his men have set a honeypot to lure her in. Tipped her off about a big stash of money and ammunition at Cornwall's freight yard in Saint-Denis. Asked if I can send some good bounty hunters their way. Just be careful. They play smart.
Looks like she only sent one.
Okay, we gotta move fast here, come on. Now the bait's already been set. Etta Doyle and her girls could be here any minute. Mr. Cornwall, you don't want his name anywhere near this for reasons I'm sure you can understand. Just wants it dealt with quick and quiet. You're gonna want to ensconce yourself in here. Now wait till they bust in, and then, when the moment's right, ambush Miss Doyle and escort her into custody. They want her alive.
You get paid, we get rid of her, everyone's happy. Now don't worry about her cronies. She's the one with the price on her head. They're notorious for dressing alike, so you bide your time and you figure out which one's Doyle. You'll know for sure when you see her face. Got a big old scar down her right cheek.
We're just gonna hang around and stand guard, create some semblance of security, and just pray the crazy bitch don't bust in and shoot us straight in the face. All right, now, it's time. Find a place to hide, and we'll wait for the guest of honor.
Alright, so once you spawn in here, basically you need to hide in this area, this yellow area you're seeing on the mini-map. You need to wait for Etta Doyle, Etta Doyle to show up, as well as some of her posse members, and you want to just try to apprehend her when she shows up. The location you can actually see here, so I found this location pretty early on. I just didn't decide to use it. This is actually my second time going through difficulty 5. My first time I had a little bit of a harder time with it because of the location I chose, but this location you're seeing that you sort of saw me just go through, you'll see me pause my map later, but sort of this like tunnel or this sewer here, and you'll see me run back here. There's actually the exit is sort of into this river, or this lake, or this body of water here. What's nice about this location is if you stay here, no one can really flank you. You even see it's sort of out of the area, or you start to get out of there if you try to exit through. And what I mean by that is when these members come in, because this actually happened on difficulty 5. So the one location I chose on my first try on difficulty 5, someone actually ended up coming up and finding me as I was trying to wait for these enemies, because essentially what you want to do here is over time, over the course of this legendary bounty, what will happen is the enemies will, or sort of those 4 targets that you're seeing on the map right now, you're seeing me watch them on the map, they will dwindle down to just one, and that'll end up being Etta Doyle. So you want to wait for them to dwindle down. You basically just want to sort of stay in hiding and wait for that to happen, and then you want to sort of make your attack or make your strike on Etta Doyle, or the real Etta Doyle. Unfortunately, the location I had, it worked for 2 difficulties, and then for whatever reason on the 5th one, someone came up to where I was, they ended up seeing me, and they alerted the whole they ended up alerting basically everybody else. and she was able to get away, and then I had to deal with a lot more enemies. It was just a big pain. This location here, what's really nice, like I said, no one can really come up behind you. The only way they can get to you, any of her sort of posse members or impersonators or her herself, the only way they can come down is that ramp you're seeing me look at right there. And if someone does decide to come down, you can easily just pretty much stealth kill them. I'll actually show a clip from difficulty 1. I was trying to perform a stealth kill on this, or I think I was actually trying to hog tie them or something. I wasn't sure if this was one of the bounty targets. This is before I realized that they sort of dwindled down over time. As you're seeing here, there's only 3 on the map. But basically what happened was I was trying to either lasso them or knock them out or something, and you'll see I didn't really alert anybody when I was doing this. So if someone does come down here, you should be able to easily stealth kill them, no problem, and not alert anybody. But you'll see here I'm sort of staying on the corner there. You see where I'm at on the map, and I'm waiting for these targets to just dwindle down. Like I said, over time it'll dwindle down to just one target, which is actually going to be Etta Doyle, because the other 3 are impersonators. You don't want to try to figure out which one it is yourself. If you do that, you'll see another one just dwindle down there. If you do that, I tried to do that on difficulty 1. What ends up happening is you know, if you end up messing up and it's not her, the other 3, including one of them being her, are going to run away, and then you're going to have to try to track all them down and figure out which one's her. You won't fail the mission. You can still do that. You know, I had to do that a couple different times before I sort of figured out this method, but you know, you're just going to make it harder on yourself. There's a lot of an easier way to go about this. But you'll see, like I said, I'm sort of just sitting down here. I'm waiting for these targets to dwindle down. I believe the one closest to me ends up sort of disappearing off the map here in a few seconds. One thing I will say that I could have done a little bit better here. I still pulled off what I wanted to do, and basically what I want to do is, you'll see here, once it dwindles down to Etta Doyle just being on the map, she basically says that this is sort of a setup, and she basically calls her posse off, and they all try to escape. One thing you'll see, as soon as that other target disappeared on the map, I should have been moving up a lot quicker. I moved up a little bit slower. She ended up running through the gates, and I had to deal with a few of her enemies. For the most part, I was still able to get her before she escaped, and I didn't have to deal with too many of the enemies. But I still had to deal with a few. I still deal with like 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. I should have moved. You'll see this one shooting at me right now. For the most part, most of them are running away, and that's what you want to do. That's sort of a trick with this legendary bounty is once she sort of calls off her posse, they all sort of start escaping. You can sort of run and hurry up and grab her. Like I said, unfortunately, I think I was a little bit too slow. I should have grabbed her before she reached this point. She got a little bit too far. I was still able to end up grabbing her. I took a tonic here. I had to take out a few enemies. But in the long run, I was still able to get her before she escaped, and I would have had to go, you know, chase her down. And, you know, obviously that would have just been a pain because I'd have been dealing with a ton of enemies. I still didn't have to deal with that many here again, but I could have probably done it a little bit better. So what I recommend is, if you're using the location that I stated, what I recommend that you do is, as soon as you see her spawn on the map, start moving out so that you sort of get a little bit of a jump start, because as soon as she sort of says that, you know, this is the setup, you want to be on her, or at least getting to her, because like I said, the closer she gets to her wagon, the better chance that a few enemies are going to come after you. Like I said, you're seeing here, I'm not having that many come after me. I only had to take out about 5, 6, maybe 7. But at the same time, you're still going to be running sort of that risk of having to deal with, you know, more enemies that, you know, if she ends up trying to escape or whatnot. So you want to try to get her before she gets out. That's obviously going to be the quickest way to go about this. And to be honest, this is probably one of the easiest legendary bounties you can do solo. I think this is probably the easiest one we got so far. I think last week was one of the hardest ones we've gotten to do solo. I think that and the Wolfman was probably the 2 hardest ones we've gotten that are the hardest to do solo. This is definitely probably one of the easiest ones to do solo. But like I said, if you use that location, just make sure you get the jump on her quick. Make sure you grab her. If you do grab her before she gets out the gate, you're probably going to want to take her out the back. There's actually a back entrance you can take her out, and you're going to be really close to the jail. You'll see here, I ended up just putting her on my horse because I'm so close to the jail. I ended up just taking her in, and that was just fine. So, you know, you can just do that. Like I said, if you do, I will say, if you do end up getting to the point where she escapes and you have to go chase her down, you're probably going to want to use a bounty wagon because you're going to have pursuers. But if you're this close, you could probably just take her on your horse and you're going to be fine. I mean, you're going to see here, look how close I am to the prison. You know, I'm almost within walking distance of it. But pretty much it's pretty basic. That's the way you want to go about this. I want to go over the totals, sort of what I made off all 5 difficulties real quick, and then I'm going to go end the video.
I'm at good on my promises. Here's your payment.
Alright guys, if we tally the totals for all 5 difficulties, got a total amount of cash of $552.36, total amount of gold of 1.52 gold bars, and total amount of player XP 3,681, as you're seeing here up on the screen. If we compare it to some other weeks, I don't have last week's directly. I still have to edit that video. I think I'm still going to edit it just because there's a lot of other tips I wanted to add in that some other YouTubers that made a video based on last week's legendary bounty of Tobin Winfield. They didn't really include certain things. There was a lot of different variables for that location, or for that particular legendary bounty, so there's a couple things I want to go over that a lot of other YouTubers didn't. I also think Rockstar is going to recycle that legendary bounty, so definitely I still want to sort of make a guide on that. But in any case, in general, I mean, I'd say cash was pretty good. Just going back through the other weeks, and I even know last week, I'm pretty sure this was more cash than last week, even though I'm not directly comparing it. But considering how fast you can complete this bounty and how much money I actually made, it's not too bad. I mean, that was actually a decent amount of cash. Gold was probably a little bit less, maybe about 30-40 gold nuggets less than usual. I'd say player XP is within range. I think we usually get around 3,000 to 5,000 player XP, so that's not too bad. But the money definitely isn't too bad here. Like I said, this is probably one of the easiest legendary bounties you can do solo, so I definitely recommend you take advantage of it this week. And the pay, 100% is not that bad. You also see I don't have roll XP included on here, and some of the other legendary bounty videos I have roll XP included. The reason why I don't have roll XP included is because of the mere fact that I've already maxed out my bounty hunter level, so I can no longer acquire roll XP. But in any case, like I said, I'll still show the cash, the player XP, and the gold. But like I said, definitely take advantage of this legendary bounty. It'll definitely prove beneficial. You definitely make a lot of money off of it. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching the video. I hope you find this beneficial. And as always, have a great day.